Welcome back, everybody. My name's Token D Rock here with another video. I hope all of you have a wonderful day. In today's video, we're going to be going over stories like Russia taking a similar but different approach to China when it comes to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency by and large. Going to be looking at a major lending platform raising $400 million, and Bitcoin hash rate is over 35% here in the US. More on that later. First things first, going to take a look at the market. Bitcoin dominance is at 46%. This number has gone up considerably in the past week as we've seen altcoins bleed and money flow into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at 56,900. I personally think we're within a month of reaching all-time highs that were established earlier in the year, but who knows. Obviously, if you're buying into these altcoins, be careful, pay attention to Bitcoin. It dominates the market. If it bleeds, so does everything else, typically speaking. If you're buying those altcoins, spread out those buys, dollar cost average, you already know the drill. On to the news. While Russia continues to enforce a ban on cryptocurrency payments as part of a law that took effect in January, the country has no plans at this time to completely prohibit trading by its citizens. Alexei Moiseev, sorry if I butchered your name, the deputy finance minister of the Russian Federation, said he believes Russian citizens will continue to be allowed to buy and use cryptocurrencies outside the country on foreign exchanges without the threat of legal action at home. Crypto payments in the country are currently banned, but Russians have been allowed to purchase and trade cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. In his own words, he said Russian citizens can have a wallet open outside the Russian Federation, but if they operate within the Russian Federation, then they will be subject to bans, I think, for the entire foreseeable future due to our financial sovereignty. The deputy finance minister added that lawmakers still needed to properly define digital currencies and blockchain technology in Russia's civil code. The Russian government has claimed accepting Bitcoin as an official currency could negatively impact the country's financial and economic system. Russia's position stands in contrast to that of China, where financial and regulatory institutions have reportedly issued anti-crypto statements and policies. Most recently, the People's Bank of China declared that all crypto transactions in the country were illegal, and prior to that, miners in several provinces fled when faced with a crackdown on their operations. It is important to note that certain Russian officials have claimed the use of a digital ruble issued by this country's central bank would not pose the same financial risks as Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Anatoly Oskakov, chairman of the Russian State Duma Committee on Financial Markets, said last year that a Russian central bank digital currency could become an integral part of national settlements by 2024. The way I'm looking at it is that Russia and China are not pro-crypto by any means. I would argue that China is actually anti-crypto at this point. Russia's kind of like anti-crypto, but they're not fully there yet because they're still allowing their citizens to trade crypto outside of the country's borders on foreign exchanges, which is a good thing and is contrast to what China's doing. China basically says citizens are not allowed to trade crypto within the nation's borders and outside of the nation's borders. So I'd say Russia is taking a better position / stance than China, but they are still, for the most part, on the same footing. They have very similar position / stance on cryptocurrency, so have to keep that in perspective. In other news, we have cryptocurrency lending platform Celsius Network raising $400 million in a new equity funding round amid U.S. regulators increasingly cracking down on crypto lending. According to the news on Tuesday, Celsius noted that the latest funding was led by Canada's second largest pension fund and Westcap, an equity firm established by former Airbnb executive Lawrence Tosi. The firm intends to use the proceeds from this investment to continue expanding its offerings and products, focusing on institutional grade products Celsius also expects to double its team from 486 employees to nearly 1,000 employees and expand globally through strategic acquisitions. Celsius CEO Alex Mashinsky expressed hope that the new fundraising would help the industry reassure regulators about the stability of his crypto lending business and expand it across mainstream financial markets. It's not $400 million, it's the credibility that comes with the people who wrote those checks. With more than $25 billion in assets and over $850 million in yield paid to over 1.1 million users on the Celsius network, has distributed 10 times more yield for the crypto community than any other lender. The new funding round values Celsius over $3 billion, marking a massive increase from a $10 million equity funding round last year, which brought Celsius post-money valuation to $150 million. Blockchain fund Alpha Sigma Capital previously evaluated Celsius valuation in March, calculating that the firm had an implied value of $3.13 billion, or 3 times bigger than its market capitalization at the time. Initially operating in the United Kingdom, Celsius officially announced just this past June that the company will be moving its headquarters from the UK to the United States and, where applicable, to several other jurisdictions. Crypto lending firms subsequently faced several warnings from several U.S. regulators, with the Texas State Securities Board and New Jersey Bureau of Securities arguing in September that Celsius had allegedly violated local securities laws. Other U.S. states, including Kentucky and Alabama, reportedly issued similar warnings as well, while Celsius said it was providing services in full compliance with U.S. laws. Celsius issues with U.S. regulators come amid a broader crackdown on crypto lending in the country. Just this past July, the New Jersey Bureau of Securities issued a cease and desist order to major crypto lender BlockFi, triggering a wave of similar orders in several other states. Coinbase, the largest crypto exchange in the United States, had to abandon its crypto lending product, Lend, after the Securities and Exchange Commission threatened the firm with legal action. So there's a lot of uncertainty as to who is exactly a crypto broker in the crypto space, because the language within the infrastructure deal that Congress is trying to push through is very vague with who qualifies as a crypto broker. So that is why you have so many regulators from several states within the U.S. targeting lending platforms like BlockFi, Celsius, and Coinbase, because they're not exactly sure as to where this is going, with how specific we're going to get as to who qualifies as a broker. So they're trying to play it safe. That way, whenever it is clarified as to who is a crypto broker, the feds don't go after the individual states for not cracking down. So the states are doing essentially what they need to play it safe, because the federal government can crack down on the states for not doing their own due diligence and their own research on the lending platforms that are able to operate within their state's borders. That's how I view this. I'm curious as to what you guys think down below. Let me know. Our final news of the day finds that the United States has now emerged as the leading nation in terms of hash rate. This comes after the sweeping crackdowns by China against Bitcoin mining activity and the crypto space as a whole. According to the Cambridge Bitcoin Electricity Consumption Index, or the CBECI, Bitcoin miners in America account for 35.4% of the total global Bitcoin mining hash rate distribution. The data also shows that Kazakhstan follows behind with 18%, and Russia at 11% as the next major Bitcoin mining centers outside of the US. These three nations have gained significant market share in the wake of China's crypto mining ban. Here's a chart representing the hash rate of Bitcoin amongst countries in the world. What's interesting to note right here is the fact that none of the hash rates coming from mainland China. Now, you could say this is covert, mining operations going on in China still, But to say that 0% of the hash rate's coming from mainland China is a little fishy. I'm not buying it, but let's read on. Apart from the China crackdown, North American crypto mining establishments have been upscaling their capacity with significant additions to their hardware capacity. American mining companies like Argo Blockchain, Riot Blockchain, Marathon, and several others have purchased large orders of mining rigs from major manufacturers like Bitmain and Microbit. Earlier in October, Cointelegraph reported that Riot Blockchain had tripled its production capacity in 2021 with 2,457 Bitcoin mined during the period. Places like Texas and Ohio are also expected to play host to mega Bitcoin mining centers that will increase the production capacities of U.S. crypto miners even further. As previously reported by Cointelegraph, BitMining recently inked a joint venture agreement with Viking Data Centers to build an 85 megawatts big Bitcoin mining facility in Ohio. Just don't see this chart showing us, reality. I find it very hard to believe that China went from like over 70% Bitcoin hash rate to 0%. I'm sorry, this chart is not showing me what I think is really going down. I'm gonna guess China is somewhere between 5 and 20%. I find it very hard to believe that they're at 0%. Anyways, it's important to note that America is making leaps when it comes to adopting the Bitcoin mining hash rate distribution, but that percentage of 35.4% of global Bitcoin mining hash rate distribution will go down. I'm going to call it here. I think it's going to go down in the coming months because there is just so much uncertainty as to who and who isn't a crypto broker when it comes to the broad language within the infrastructure plan. If they do not get more specific with the language, that number of 35.4%, I'm sure will go below 30%. No questions asked. Because, again, the way the infrastructure plan, the way they word things within the bill, makes it very vague, makes the definition very broad as to who is a crypto broker. And that is just going to decimate investments, infrastructure when it comes to crypto related stuff here in the US. Mark my words, I could be entirely wrong, but that's just my takeaway from this. That about does it for today's video, everyone. If you enjoyed the video or learned something new, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, really helps us out. Got some links down below, so please use them. Earn some passive income on the crypto you're hodling long term with BlockFi and Celsius. Get trading today over on Binance US. Stay up to date with crypto prices over on CoinMarketCap. Stay up to date with your favorite altcoin event on CoinMarketCal. And follow us over on Facebook for occasional callouts. Until next time, everyone, my name's Token D-Rock. I hope all of you take care. Peace.